The 1980s gave us TV moments that remain unforgettable. Knight Rider, ALF, and the A-Team had us riveted to our screens, but what happened to the programs that silently vanished from our recollection? In this video, we're revisiting 20 overlooked 1980s TV programs that influenced our growing up years. These programs played a significant part in our childhoods, even though nobody discusses them nowadays. Stay tuned, because reconnecting with them will resurrect those experiences that molded who you've become today. The Greatest American Hero. Among the major titles in the 80s television, there were programs that didn't endure as long but made their impression in a unique way. One of those treasures was The Greatest American Hero. Ralph Hinckley, an ordinary high school teacher, received an extraterrestrial superhero suit with abilities beyond comprehension. But there was one significant catch. He misplaced the instruction manual. That was the brilliance of the program. We witnessed Ralph comically fumble through flying disasters and clumsy attempts at heroism, making him one of the most believable champions ever. The appeal wasn't solely in the humor. It was in the underlying theme that being a champion isn't about flawlessness. It's about making the effort no matter how awkward or imperfect. And let's not overlook the theme song, Believe It or Not, which turned into an anthem of the era and is likely still echoing in your mind right now. Although the program concluded after 3 seasons due to falling viewership, it created a permanent impression on those who experienced it. Did you know there was an effort to revive the series in the 2000s? While it never materialized, the original continues to be a peculiar yet memorable piece of 80s television history. Misfits of science. If you adored unconventional science fiction with a comedic edge, then Misfits of Science was the program for you. It tracked a squad of misfits with unusual abilities. Think of it as the 80s equivalent of today's superhero squads, but with considerably more comedy. There was Johnny, who could create electricity, and Gloria, who possessed telekinetic abilities. Together, they formed the ideal team of outcasts attempting to rescue the world one strange escapade at a time. What made this program noteworthy wasn't merely the excitement, but the rapport among the characters and the manner it welcomed its oddness. It was shamelessly entertaining, never taking itself overly seriously, which is likely why it attracted a devoted audience despite lasting only 1 season. And here's something you might not be aware of. Courtney Cox, before her friend's stardom, was one of the program's stars. Regrettably, Misfits of Science was terminated due to poor ratings, but it continues to be a concealed gem of 80s television for those who recall it. It was the type of program that made you desire strange abilities and the chance to participate in the excitement. Sometimes it's the programs that don't take themselves overly seriously that create the most significant influence. Small Wonder. Now let's discuss a program that had every youngster desiring a robot sibling, Small Wonder. The concept was both unusual and intriguing. A robotics engineer constructs a lifelike robot, Vicky, who resembles a human child and attempts to present her as his daughter. The twist? She's programmed to learn, but with a very flat robotic delivery, which created all sorts of amusing misunderstandings. Small Wonder wasn't merely an eccentric sitcom. It was a program that seized the creativity of youngsters in the 80s. What if you could possess a robot who could complete all your tasks, assist you with schoolwork, or even pause time? Vicky's capabilities and the unusual circumstances she encountered made every episode a distinctive adventure. The program exploited the robot fascination that was prevalent in the 80s, but it also provided us with a sense of warmth as Vicky attempted to experience life like a genuine girl. Despite some criticism for its over-the-top acting, Small Wonder endured for 4 seasons, longer than many of its peers. And for those who watched it, the vision of Vicky in her distinctive red dress is etched into memory. It's one of those programs that if you reference it today, instantly triggers nostalgic discussions. Out of this world. Envision being a teenager who can halt time with merely the touch of your fingers. That's the dream out of this world provided to youngsters in the 80s. Evie Garland wasn't just any adolescent. She was half human, half alien, and inherited some remarkable abilities from her extraterrestrial father, including the capacity to freeze time, connect with her dad via a crystal, and teleport items. What more could a youngster imagine? This program exploited every teen's dream of possessing secret abilities while attempting to handle the awkwardness of growing up. It wasn't solely about the sci-fi components. It was about maturing and discovering how to utilize the capabilities you've been granted. Evie's abilities frequently resulted in amusing and sometimes heartwarming moments as she attempted to juggle her ordinary life with her remarkable talents. Out of This World endured 4 seasons, and while it wasn't as popular as some other programs of the period, it definitely made an impression on those who watched. Who didn't desire they could halt time and avoid uncomfortable situations? The program concluded with an unresolved cliffhanger, which left viewers questioning what occurred next. But for those who experienced it growing up, Evie and her abilities will never be forgotten. Riptide. If you were an enthusiast of crime-solving with a technological angle, then Riptide was one of those concealed treasures that kept you returning for more. This program had everything a detective needed: a stylish boat, advanced gadgets, and even an eccentric robot named Roboz. It tracked 3 private detectives, Cody, Nick, and Murray, who operated their detective agency from a boat, solving mysteries using not just intuition, but also the newest in 80s technology, which seemed advanced at the time. Riptide distinguished itself because it merged the thrilling detective category with the excitement of high-tech equipment. From helicopters to robots, who contributed a measure of humor to the program. And let's be frank, what youngster or teenager in the 80s didn't adore the concept of possessing their own robot companion to assist them in solving mysteries? Though it never quite achieved the same recognition as other detective programs like Magnum P.I., Riptide lasted 3 solid seasons and created a permanent impression on its devoted viewers. The combination of excitement, technology, and humor was a formula that seemed distinctive at the time. It's one of those programs that, when referenced today, immediately resurrects memories of adventure-packed afternoons before the television. The powers of Matthew Star. What could be more impressive as a teenager than learning you're actually an alien prince with telekinetic abilities? That was the premise of The Powers of Matthew Star, a program that combined high school drama with otherworldly sci-fi. Matthew Star was no typical teen. He was a prince from another world, concealing on Earth, attempting to assimilate while secretly utilizing his capabilities to defend himself from alien adversaries. The program possessed a compelling combination of teenage wish fulfillment and thrilling adventure. Envision handling high school tormentors one moment and combating intergalactic dangers the next. Matthew's abilities, particularly his telekinesis, made him the ultimate dream champion for youngsters watching at the time. He was mastering how to manage his capabilities, all while attempting to maintain a normal life, something every teenager could identify with, superpowers or not. Despite the intriguing concept, the program struggled with viewership and only endured 1 season. It didn't assist that one of the stars, Louis Gossett Jr., was injured during filming, which caused production interruptions. Still, for enthusiasts who recall it, The Powers of Matthew Star remains a concealed treasure of 80s television, merging high school tension with the fascination of secret abilities. Automan. Envision existing in a reality where your computer could generate the ideal superhero companion. That's precisely what Automan provided us, a high-tech dream realized. The program tracked Walter M.A.S.K, a police officer and computer genius who developed a holographic crime fighter named Automan. Automan wasn't just any hologram. He could engage with the physical world, generate vehicles from nothing, and possessed remarkable strength, making him the ultimate associate in combating crime. The program's advanced concept was a fantasy for anyone who appreciated technology and superheroes. Automan could transform into a glowing automobile, aircraft, or helicopter at will, frequently leaving Walter rushing to maintain pace. For youngsters in the 80s, this was the type of impressive technology that seemed years beyond its time. And let's not forget Cursor, Automan's illuminated companion, that contributed an element of appeal and humor to every episode. Despite its groundbreaking special effects, Automan only endured one season, primarily due to expensive production expenses. The program's spectacular visuals were revolutionary, but they were also too costly to sustain for television at the time. Even so, Automan continues to be one of those programs that, for those who watched, created a permanent impression of what the future might resemble. Manimal. In the 80s, the concept of a man who could metamorphose into any creature seemed like absolute enchantment, and that's precisely what Manimal provided. The program tracked Dr. Jonathan Jayce, a wealthy crime fighter with the distinctive capability to transform into various animals to assist in solving crimes. Whether he was transforming into a hawk to survey the location or a panther to pursue criminals, each episode delivered an exciting new escapade. Manimal was revolutionary, utilizing special effects to display Jayce's transformations, which for the 80s were astonishing. The idea of a man employing animal instincts to combat crime seized the creativity of youngsters and teens alike. Who didn't desire to be able to transform into a mighty animal at will? The program balanced excitement with a touch of intrigue, keeping audiences speculating which animal Jayce would become next. Though it only endured 8 episodes, Manimal became a devoted favorite, recalled for its distinctive concept and groundbreaking special effects. The program's termination was primarily due to poor ratings, but it's still affectionately remembered as one of the most daring and creative television experiments of the 80s. Even today, its title ignites interest and nostalgia for those who experienced it growing up. The Highwayman. If you adored advanced crime fighting combined with a touch of the Wild West, The Highwayman was your ideal program. Set in a near-future America, the program tracked an enigmatic figure known only as the Highwayman, who operated a high-tech weaponized truck while pursuing criminals across the nation. Think of it as Mad Max encounters Knight Rider, with a massive truck that could metamorphose into a helicopter. What made this program so impressive was the absolute sense of excitement and the distinctive combination of sci-fi with a rugged, solitary champion. The Highwayman's truck was the centerpiece of the program, loaded with equipment and capabilities that could extract him from any circumstance. For youngsters and teens who appreciated action, this program was a playground of creativity. What could be superior to a truck that could soar? Unfortunately, the Highwayman didn't endure long, just 9 episodes. Despite its ambitious concept and impressive technology, the program struggled to locate an audience and was terminated. But for those who watched, it was one of those uncommon treasures that presented a preview into what the future of adventure television could resemble. It continues to be a forgotten gem, with enthusiasts still reminiscing about that legendary truck. Voyagers. If you ever fantasized about journeying through time, then Voyagers was the ultimate wish fulfillment. This adventure-filled program tracked a time traveler named Phineas Bogg and his young companion Jeffrey Jones as they traveled through different historical eras, correcting events that had gone awry. Equipped with a special device called the Omni, which resembled a pocket watch, they could jump from ancient Egypt to the Wild West in mere seconds. What made Voyagers so enjoyable was its combination of historical learning with exciting adventures. Every episode had Bog and Jeffrey moving through famous events in history, frequently meeting legendary figures like Thomas Edison or Cleopatra. For youngsters, it was like receiving a condensed course in history with the excitement of a time-traveling escapade. And let's be frank, who didn't fantasize about jumping through time and encountering historical legends directly? Sadly, Voyagers only endured one season despite its inventive concept and committed fanbase. One of the explanations for its termination was the costly production expenses of recreating different historical eras every week. But even with its brief duration, the program created a permanent impression. It continues to be a concealed treasure for those who appreciated history combined with a touch of imagination, and for many, it was their introduction to the concept of time travel in television. The Phoenix. In the 80s, the concept of a man from another world awakening on Earth with remarkable abilities seized the creativity of youngsters and teens alike, and that's precisely what the Phoenix provided. The program tracked Bennu of the Golden Light, an ancient extraterrestrial who had been dormant on Earth for centuries, only to awaken in contemporary times. Bennu, portrayed by Judson Scott, possessed exceptional capabilities like telepathy, telekinesis, and the ability to heal. His objective? To locate his long-lost companion Mira, while also assisting humanity in the process. What made the Phoenix so fascinating was its combination of mysticism, science fiction, and excitement. Bennu's gentle character and wisdom made him an unconventional champion. He wasn't about combat, but rather about resolving problems with his intelligence and abilities. His connection to ancient knowledge and extraterrestrial origins provided the program a deeper, almost metaphysical tone. It was a program that made you contemplate while still providing the excitement of an alien on Earth. Regrettably, The Phoenix was brief, only broadcasting 5 episodes before being terminated due to poor ratings. Despite its short duration, it gained a devoted audience thanks to its distinctive concept and profound storytelling. Enthusiasts of the program still recall it as a concealed gem, one that contributed something genuinely different to the terrain of 80s television. Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors. For those who experienced growing up with an appreciation for grand battles between good and evil, Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors was an exciting animated adventure that satisfied all the proper elements. The program tracked Jayce, a young champion on a quest to reunite with his father and vanquish the wicked Saw Boss and his army of sentient plant vehicles known as the Monster Mines. With the assistance of his faithful team and their transforming vehicles, Jayce traveled across the galaxy, combating these villains at every opportunity. The enchantment of Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors was in its creative world-building and thrilling action sequences. The vehicles, which could transform and combat on both land and air, were a fantasy for any youngster who appreciated cars and robots. Each episode was loaded with rapid chases, courageous rescues, and creative tactics to outwit the monster minds. The program was also filled with underlying themes of family and determination, as Jayce's quest to locate his father maintained the emotional investment high. Despite its success, Jayce and the Wheeled Warriors never received the appropriate conclusion it merited, as the series was terminated before the narrative could be completed. Still, it continues to be a cherished memory for those who watched, and its combination of excitement, emotion, and sci-fi adventure has established it as a devoted classic of 80s animated television. M.A.S.K. For youngsters in the 80s, M.A.S.K. was the ideal combination of everything they appreciated: impressive vehicles, secret missions, and grand battles between good and evil. The program tracked Matt Tracker and his squad known as M.A.S.K., who battled against the criminal organization Venom. What made this program distinctive? The vehicles, each one possessed the capability to transform into battle-ready machines like motorcycles that became helicopters or cars that turned into submarines. And let's not forget the masks each character wore, providing them with special capabilities in battle. The mixture of high-speed excitement and creative technology made M.A.S.K an immediate success with youngsters. It was like experiencing the greatest aspects of a spy thriller, superhero program, and racing competition all combined into one. Every episode delivered a new assignment, with Tracker and his squad utilizing their sophisticated technology and vehicles to prevent Venom's latest wicked scheme. The rapid action and transformations kept audiences glued to the screen, and for many, it ignited countless hours of entertainment with the M.A.S.K toy collection. Despite its success, M.A.S.K eventually diminished after 2 seasons. However, it created a permanent legacy. The groundbreaking concept of vehicles and secret technology still connects with enthusiasts today, and it continues to be one of the most legendary action cartoons of the 80s. Turbo Teen. Envision transforming into a sports car whenever you became too heated. Sounds unusual, right? Well, that's precisely what occurred to Brett Matthews, the teen champion of Turbo Teen. After a bizarre accident involving a high-tech government experiment, Brett acquired the capability to metamorphose into a red sports car whenever his body temperature increased. Whether he preferred it or not, he could transition between human and car form, frequently finding himself in wild pursuits or racing to prevent the villains. For youngsters in the 80s, Turbo Teen was the ultimate dream. What could be more impressive than transforming into a sleek, rapid car to escape danger or race around with your companions? The program's mixture of excitement, humor, and unusual transformation sequences kept audiences entertained, even if the concept was, well, a bit outlandish. Every episode witnessed Brett and his companions attempting to manage his transformations while preventing criminals or solving mysteries. Despite its enjoyable concept, Turbo Teen didn't endure long, only operating for 13 episodes. While brief, it became a devoted favorite, particularly for those who appreciated the concept of combining human capabilities with impressive car-focused excitement. The program may have been short, but it's one of those eccentric 80s treasures that created a permanent impression on those who experienced it. Tales of the Gold Monkey. If you appreciated the excitement and thrill of movies like Indiana Jones, then Tales of the Gold Monkey was essential viewing. Set in the late 1930s in the South Pacific, the program tracked Jake Cutter, a former Flying Tigers pilot who operated a seaplane charter business, frequently becoming entangled in dangerous assignments involving treasure searches, spies, and enigmatic artifacts. With his faithful dog Jack, his one-eyed mechanic Corky, and the enigmatic lounge singer Sarah, Jake's adventures transported him to exotic islands and positioned him against everything from Nazis to supernatural powers. The program seized the creativity of youngsters and teens with its combination of excitement, humor, and elevated action. Every episode seemed like entering a new realm full of peril and thrill, where Jake's reliable plane, the Grumman Goose, would arrive to rescue the day. The abundant tropical environments and rapid narratives made Tales of the Gold Monkey seem like a grand adventure every week. Though it only endured 1 season, the program became a devoted classic, affectionately recalled for its exciting plots and appealing characters. It was one of those programs that made you desire to seize your toy plane and embark on your own treasure hunting assignment. Even today, enthusiasts recall it as one of the finest adventure series of the 80s, the Edison Twins. For enthusiasts of science, problem-solving, and traditional adventures, the Edison Twins was a flawless combination of entertainment and learning. The program tracked teenage twins, Tom and Annie Edison, along with their younger brother Paul, as they employed their scientific understanding to resolve everyday problems and mysteries. The series was distinctive because after each episode, they would clarify the science behind their solutions, transforming the program into an enjoyable educational experience for young audiences. What made the Edison Twins noteworthy wasn't merely the ingenious mysteries the twins solved, but also the manner it motivated youngsters to think analytically and apply science to actual situations. Whether they were resolving puzzles involving chemistry, physics, or technology, the program made science impressive, and its relatable characters were simple for young audiences to connect with. The cheerful theme song also made it immediately identifiable to anyone who experienced it growing up. The series operated for 6 seasons, an uncommon achievement for a youngsters program in the 80s. While it never achieved the legendary status of other 80s successes, it occupies a special position in the hearts of those who watched every week, captivated by the ingenious combination of science and excitement. The Edison Twins continues to be one of those programs that subtly influenced a generation of inquisitive young minds. Sectaurs, warriors of Symbian. For youngsters who were captivated by action-filled fantasy realms, Sectaurs, warriors of Symbian presented an exciting combination of grand battles and insect-inspired excitement. Set on the world Symbian, where genetic experiments had gone awry, humans had evolved to connect with giant mutant insects. The program tracked Prince Dargan and his group of warriors as they battled against the wicked General Spidrax and his forces. Each warrior possessed a faithful insect mount, which could soar, combat, and communicate telepathically with its rider. What made Sectaurs distinctive was its merger of science fiction and imagination. The insect-themed creatures and battles were unlike anything else on television at the time, and for enthusiasts of action figures, the toys that accompanied the program were a massive success. The series was intense, dramatic, and full of larger-than-life battles, making it a favorite among youngsters who appreciated intense, elevated action. Despite its committed fan base, Sectaurs only endured 1 season with just 5 episodes broadcasting. But it created a permanent impression on those who watched. The program's combination of mutant creatures, telepathic connections, and exciting combat scenes kept enthusiasts captivated, and its action-filled adventures still resurrect vivid memories for those who experienced the 80s. Kids Incorporated. For many youngsters experiencing the 80s, Kids Incorporated was a flawless combination of music, friendship, and teenage drama. The program tracked a group of talented youngsters who performed in a band while handling the challenges of growing up. Each episode featured performances of popular songs from the period, providing it a music video atmosphere combined with relatable teenage narratives. Whether they were addressing everyday matters like friendship and school or singing passionately on stage, the program possessed an appeal that made it a favorite for youngsters and teens alike. What made Kids Incorporated genuinely special was its emphasis on music. The cast, which included future celebrities like Fergie, then Stacey Ferguson, and Jennifer Love Hewitt, would perform cover versions of popular hits from the 80s, providing youngsters a reason to watch every week. The cheerful, optimistic atmosphere of the program, combined with memorable music, made it a feel-good experience that was difficult to resist. The program operated for nearly a decade, a remarkable achievement for any children's series, and became a pop culture fixture. For those who recall it, Kids Incorporated was more than just a television program. It was a celebration of music and the thrill of growing up. Danger Bay. For youngsters and teens who appreciated the combination of excitement and environmental consciousness, Danger Bay was an exceptional program in the 80s. Set in the magnificent landscapes of Vancouver, the program tracked Dr. Grant, Doc Roberts, a marine biologist who worked at the Vancouver Aquarium alongside his two children, Nicole and Jonah, and their adventures involving wildlife rescue, ecological dangers, and resolving environmental crimes. Danger Bay addressed significant matters while keeping audiences entertained with thrilling narratives. What made Danger Bay distinctive was its emphasis on conservation and wildlife protection, something not frequently seen in children's programming at the time. Each episode presented an adventure grounded in nature, whether it was rescuing endangered species, battling poachers, or resolving environmental mysteries. For youngsters captivated by animals and the environment, Danger Bay was an educational yet exciting escape. The program operated for 6 seasons, making it one of the longer operating series in the 80s, and it became a favorite for families seeking wholesome, nature-focused entertainment. While it didn't possess the spectacular excitement of some other 80s programs, its spirit was in the proper place, and it created a permanent influence on audiences who learned to care a bit more about the world around them. Space Academy. For youngsters captivated by space exploration and science fiction, Space Academy was an exciting exploration into the universe. Set in the year 3732, the program tracked a group of young cadets at Space Academy, an advanced school designed to train the next generation of space explorers. Under the supervision of Commander Gampu, these cadets, each with distinctive talents like telepathy and super strength, embarked on various assignments to explore space and defend the galaxy from various dangers. What made Space Academy distinctive was its combination of advanced equipment, alien encounters, and ethical lessons. Each episode seemed like an adventure into the unfamiliar, with the cadets frequently learning important lessons about cooperation, bravery, and accountability. For youngsters and teens who were already fascinated by the actual space race, Space Academy presented a preview into a future where they could envision themselves piloting spacecraft and exploring distant worlds. Though the program only operated for 1 season, its creative set designs, space-themed adventures, and varied group of cadets made it noteworthy for those who experienced it. Space Academy was more than just a sci-fi program. It was a motivating vision of what the future might contain for young adventurers enthusiastic to explore the stars. We've just relived some of the most memorable yet frequently overlooked television programs from our childhood. The Greatest American Hero, Misfits of Science, Small Wonder, and more. These programs didn't just entertain us, they influenced our creativity, ignited our aspirations, and became a component of who we are. Though many of them have vanished from memory, the influence they had still remains. So, which of these concealed treasures do you recall most affectionately? And if you could revive just one, which would it be? Share your reflections and let's maintain the enchantment of these 80s classics alive together.